I change your bum life. You fight me, it's a celebration. When you sign to fight me, it's a celebration. You ring back home, you ring your wife. Baby, we done it. We're rich, baby. Conor McGregor made us rich. Break out the red panties.
Are you ready?
That goes in the files.
Are you ready? Let's get it all!
Wow. All I can start off with, UFC 287. Holy shit, guys. Excuse me right now, it's 1:19 in the morning, so excuse me, I'm in Ohio, it's dark as shit behind me and everything, but, you know, UFC 287's got me buzzing right now. I just gotta sit here and talk about it. I mean, goodness. You know, I don't know why I'm so shocked at the Izzy knockout. Is it because he fought a guy that he's 0-3 against? Is it because he hasn't had a finish in a while? Is it the way that it happened where it looks like Pereira is, you know, starting to back him down, really starting to break the calf kicks open again, and really starting to break him down with one of the legs up, and then bam, right when you think Alex Pereira is finally getting like a little bit of confidence, starting to actually unleash it, and you think the left hook's about to come, Izzy shuts the lights out. Like, oh my goodness, guys. Oh, just thing of beauty. Like, first thing, shout out to both of those guys. What they were putting on one of the greatest stand-up displays of all time. Like, even better than their first fight somehow. Like, I mean, I know the first fight went a lot longer and everything, but oh my god, the display of high-level fucking kickboxing / striking, whatever you want to call it, they were doing tonight. Holy moly! Just guys, just the slightest of movements just to get out of the way of a kick, or to just get out of the way of any of the punches, head kicks, body kicks, anything. Like, any strike that they get thrown at them, both of these guys are just so talented. And just the battle for the outside foot, like, because, you know, they're both coming out, switching stance left and right. So when they got the same front foot out, or at least, you know, parallel, it's like, you know, when that guy's got to get that outside foot. It was just gorgeous all around, just absolutely gorgeous all around. And it was, as myself loving Muay Thai and, you know, training Muay Thai and stuff, that it was a dream come true to keep watching these fights. I could watch these guys match up for days, but Izzy, man, you get to see it in emotion just pouring out of him. I know a lot of people this week were talking, oh shit, you know, is his focus there? Is he too afraid now? Is he, you know, not to sound punny here with the Izzy thing, with Israel Adesanya Izzy thing, but like, you know, is he actually going to be gun shy? Can he come back? Did he fight too soon? And then everything that was leading up, like, you know, the dog collar, is he getting too cheesy? Is it too late? Like, guys, I just, for the life of me, couldn't imagine. I even did a video this week talking about what Alex Pereira was really on the cusp of doing before he lost tonight. Like, I'm just so happy deep down just for my favorite fighters, and just for MMA and the sport in general. Just, you know, I was so worried that Alex Pereira was going to, you know, I wasn't mad at it, but I was just so worried that he was going to go on within his 5th fight in the UFC, have a title win and a title defense against one of the longest reigning champions we've had, and then move up to 205 like he was probably going to do, and he still might do, but he was for sure going to move up to 205 and avenge the whole, you know, Glover Teixeira loss, fight the winner Jamal Hill and Yuri Prochazka, which to this day he still would have a really good chance of those, because those guys aren't going to take him down. But he had a chance within his 6th UFC fight to be a double champion and not fight one grappler. And that would have been a really tough pill to swallow, especially when we've seen guys like, currently we're watching it with Bilal Muhammad on the crazy win streak. Leon Edwards just took him how long? 10, 11 unbeaten streak to even get a fight with Kamaru Usman. You know, Max Holloway did it forever. Tony Ferguson's done it. Habib's done it. You know, we can go on for days and days about our longest win streaks, but without getting the title. And, you know, that's the shit right there. And even Izzy had to go through a nice little win streak. He did kind of get a fast, you know, route to the title just because of how impressive he was finishing everybody, but it was well deserved. Unlike you can say with Alex Pereira. And not to mention, if it wasn't for Izzy, Alex Pereira wouldn't even probably be in the UFC yet. And who knows if he would even have made his MMA move, or the move to MMA. So all around, I was just so happy to see it in the post-fight. You just tell how happy he was, and a huge monkey off his back. Like, can you imagine one of the greatest MMA champions we've had in the UFC goes out and literally loses 2 fights in kickboxing, which is his main sport, and then loses 2 title fights against this guy in 0-4? Oh, guys, I couldn't imagine that ending. I wasn't thinking about it, and I don't know why I'm shocked here still, though, right now, that it's a 2nd round knockout like that. It must, just the way that it happened. Just absolutely phenomenal. Shouts out to Izzy. Jesus, I'm going to do more videos whenever I can calm down and actually think about it. Maybe break down some footage and shit, just because that high-level stand-up was phenomenal. And just shouts out to Izzy. Like, for real, like, and what's next, though? Here's the other question is, like, are we running this back? Because, like, if we're being honest here, Izzy is hardy. This is the whole reason Alex Pereira even got to this title shot. Izzy has ran through everybody twice. It's ridiculous. And Vittori, impressive win. What are you going to do with him now? Even Dolidze, like these guys still need wins. Robert Whitaker, who's always deserving in my book, but he's lost twice now to Izzy. Who else are you even going to throw in there? Fucking Derek Brunson just fucked up. We got Dricus Du Plessis coming up, but he still needs probably one more win. You got Paulo Costa beat by Izzy. Fucking Hamzat. With Hamzat going to take a chance at him? Hamzat still needs a win. We still need to figure out what fucking weight class he's in. So, I know Alex Pereira probably shouldn't be coming back that fast off of that knockout because that was a vicious knockout tonight. That's one of the nastiest knockouts we'll see, and definitely one of the greatest ones when it comes to what was on the line. So, I wouldn't be shocked if we get a third fight, a trilogy fight in the UFC, and a fifth fight all together. So I still don't know. And for all you haters out there going, "Oh, he's still 1-3 against Pereira," you are absolutely fucking right. But at least he got the one, and all that matters is, we're in a world right now where it's recency bias. All that matters is the news cycle right now. So you kind of got to just shove it up your ass real quick because guess what? He's been dominant in all these fights. But dude, seriously, shouts out to Izzy. I'm so proud of him, so happy for him for real. And it's, I feel like he was losing fans there for a little bit, and it's crazy to see. You can even argue with me being on this train. I've never been the biggest Izzy fan. I love Izzy. I love every Muay Thai, kickboxing style in the UFC. I love him to death, especially when they can show off the nasty takedown defense and stuff. It's literally like a dream fighter of mine. So, I do like Izzy a lot. I love his style, and I love what he's done in the sport. But, I just couldn't imagine seeing him just go out like that. And I'm just super proud of him, and I hope he does his thing. And shouts out to him, man. Shouts out to him. And guess what? We'll all be tuned in. But he finally got the fans back because he hasn't had an exciting fight in a while. His Yoel Romero fight, his Vittori fight, his Jared Cannonier fight, even his second Whitaker fight. He lost the last couple rounds. It's come on now. So, and shouts out. I'm gonna talk about Kelvin Gastelum, but shouts out to him. Hopefully he can get a second title fight here soon. Clearly he's gonna have to have 3 or 4 more wins. But and then we'll move on. Sad news just to get it out of the way. And I don't even know how sad it is, but I did a video a couple months ago kind of talking about it, and you guys can look it up. I'll probably have it on here, at least the little tag will be up there. I do this all the time, and it's been more than just one video, but it just so happens it's Jorge Masvidal. I feel like since I've been around the sport, watching the sport for 16 years now, I'm starting to learn I've been learned it, but you're starting to learn. I'm pushing 30. You're starting to learn how to really appreciate these fighters and these athletes while we have them. When I was the biggest Kobe and KG fan, Kevin Garnett fan in the world, Vince Carter, all these guys that we loved, Iverson, LeBron, even right now, everybody that we could possibly name when you're my age, we loved all these guys, and we're finally seeing these guys retire, and we're seeing them go out, and then especially NFL players, and then MMA just so happens to be my sport, and it's dude, we've watched all these guys, Donald Cerrone, Frankie Edgar, you go on for days and days and days and days and days and days, because I can go back to the Rashad Evans, the Chuck Liddells, the Rampage Jacksons, the go on for days, Forrest Griffins, the Rick Franklins, you can go on for days and days talking about our fighters that we've seen, Vitor Belfort, Lyoto Machida, all these guys that we have now boxing. It's sad to kind of it's good for them, they're doing it, but we just need to really appreciate these fighters while we have them. And Jorge is that one that I was talking about a couple months ago. I'm what's he really have left? Yeah, he's got the excitement factor for him, he's got the name factor, but he took a very bad loss to Colby. Took a very bad loss a couple times to Usman. Yes, of course that Leon fight's there, and I'm gonna get into it a little bit, but the Leon fight is literally all it is. And then of course this whole Kevin Holland thing that happened this weekend. But I thought he would be punching down. No offense, Kevin Holland, he's that man. But it's what are you gonna gain from beating Kevin Holland, who's definitely impressive, had an impressive performance tonight that we will be talking about here very soon. But it's it's just not a fight that I want to see for Jorge at this time in his his career. So I'm happy. It's sad that I just figured. I think all of us kind of figured it now, especially those that have saw the interview where he's talking about if I lose the Burns, it's probably it. Just because I just don't have it anymore, and just in general, we kind of just figured. And I kind of kept getting these weird vibes this week. It doesn't mean I'm right, but it's just the whole when Derek Lewis fights in Houston, his hometown, the pressure just gets on him, and I could really tell there was a lot of pressure on Jorge this week, and you could tell he kind of had the weight of Miami on him, not to be funny, and just the way he was trying to just hype things up with Holland and talking about Colby's second dick. It felt like his mind was everywhere but the fight this weekend, and he did he did kind of decent, I guess. I don't know if he just got demolished tonight, and there was nothing other than that. But truly, my opinion, I even tweeted this out and I've talked about this. I really thought that he was going to lose tonight. I thought he was going to retire, but I think he's only going to retire for about 2 months, and then I think Colby has a chance to beat Leon or 3 months, whatever. Whenever Colby has a chance to fight Leon, I wouldn't be shocked if Colby just outgrinds Leon in a boring ass fight, and then, all of a sudden Jorge goes, oh, wait, I'm not retired yet. And then we see maybe Leon versus Jorge at the end of the year. Who knows? Because that is going to be a lot more standing of a fight. It's definitely going to be a stand-up fight. Both these guys have crazy grudge. So that's kind of my take. I don't know, but still, it's shouts out to Jorge Masvidal for his career. I've already kind of done a video, but I get it. It can't go enough times being said. Like, shouts out to that guy. The way that he revamped his career, man, it's one of the most impressive things you'll ever see. And just for real, shouts out to him, dude. Shouts out to Gamebred. I'm happy he got to have that one little farewell in Miami. Like, you could tell it was pretty sad. Like, it was definitely like one of the sadder ways he could go out. It was kind of first round decent. We weren't mad at it. Then takedown at the end of the round, you're like, oh fuck. And then round 2, definitely bad. He got taken down, controlled most of the time. And then round 3 even got dropped a couple times, starting to get really pieced up. I was like, oh no, he's about to get flatlined. So at least he made it to the bell, if you want to consider that. And at least he got to put on a show and bring the UFC back to Miami. So for real, shouts out to Jorge Masvidal. It was just tough to watch the last couple fights, but just I'll never forget that revamp of a career ever. Nobody will ever remember or ever forget that. So shouts out to the guy. And then honestly, just to get to it real quick, man, I gotta swallow my pride real quick. I really have to prove, admit that I'm wrong. Like, this is one of those sports, especially in all sports. But if you're one of the guys like me or whoever, if we're all out here just giving our takes and everything, like, we all think we have an idea what's going to happen, and especially in fighting, so many things could happen. But I got to admit I'm wrong. I really thought tonight was Adrian Yanez come out moment. I even did a video and everything. Like, this is his breakthrough moment. This is his introduction to the world. Like, finally he gets to fight a top dog with a big name that's going to get him some recognition. And Rob Font, my whole thing was Rob Font's last 2 of his last 3 outings gets absolutely smoked by Jose Aldo, which, like, fuck. And then, he gets a little Cody Garbrandt win, but can you count that? Who gives a shit about Cody? No offense, just at this point in career where he's at now, to be respectful, it's like, what's it really matter where Cody Garbrandt is? And then he gets absolutely destroyed by Chito Vera, and I was like, 35 years old isn't old at all. Don't get me wrong. If you're a heavyweight in UFC, light heavyweight, 35, you're in your prime. But even 185. But when it gets down to them lower weights, 135, 145, 125, dude, like, those guys get just so quick and so fast. At 35, you start to teeter a little bit, especially if you take some beating like Rob Font has. But he took the perfect amount of time off, came back rejuvenated, and even though that was a hell of a fight, and I thought both men had their moments, it was just so impressive how Rob Font just brought the fucking pressure to the young bull and Adrian Yanez. And then, was it called early? I don't know. That shuffle hook that he took was like reminiscent of, it's like the 135 version of Francis Ngannou versus Overeem. Like, that bitch was filthy. Sent Adrian Yanez flying. But, shouts out to Rob Font. I can't wait to see him back in there. Do I think that he can beat the Piotr Jans, the Corey Sandhagens, the Sean O'Malley's, the Marabs, the Aljamain? I don't think he can beat those guys, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he goes on a crazy run, because I do love Rob Font. He's been around forever, is a veteran. Gotta love the guy, but man, super impressive tonight. I'm happy he got kind of like one last little like moment, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to say it's his last moment whatsoever, but I'm just saying I'm just happy he got one more big win on a main card, finally in a huge spot. And if he never gets one again, like, hey, at least he got that. But I think he's got a couple more in him. But do I think he's got a title shot in him? No, I don't, if I'm being completely honest with y'all. And then, Jesus, Kevin Holland getting it done in the 3rd round against fucking Santiago Ponzinibbio. I was one of the guys telling everybody, I'm like, I'm just saying, it's not a good betting weekend this weekend, but I was like, man, Ponzinibbio getting slept on as a 2-1 underdog against Kevin Holland. I'm like, I can see what they're talking about, because Kevin Holland's he's got that it factor, he's got the power, he's got the length, he's got the height, but I was like, man, Santiago Ponzinibbio is a dog. 1, 2. He's super focused at all times. 3, never talks shit, so he's always just focused on you, and he's gonna bring it every single time he fights. And he's fallen down a couple times, especially when we all kind of thought he was gonna have a title shot. But I was like, man, just don't sleep on him. I don't know if he's going to win, but I was like, don't sleep on him. Kevin Holland's a dog, don't get me wrong, but Santiago Ponzinibbio is the man. And then this fight week, Kevin Holland gets into it with Jorge Masvidal. He's sitting here talking about this, that, and the third, going shopping, all these things. And, I was kind of worried about the focus in Kevin Holland, but then, like, he proves tonight. It's like, it's so crazy to me how, you can have a guy, like, and I'm not comparing Kevin Holland to GSP, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying in general, just that, there are certain fighters out here that we absolutely look up to, the Daniel Cormiers and the Cain Velasquez, like I just said, the GSPs, all, I go on for days about certain guys, Kamaru Usman, a lot of these guys that like truly need 100% focus. They need the dedication. They need to grind. They need to work their ass off every single day, and just to even get to the dance, and maybe to even have the confidence to get in there. And then you got a guy like Kevin Holland who's just so fucking loose, and almost needs that moment where he's not focused on anything. Like, he's so hypertension. I think he needs that where he can talk to Dana White during the mid-round, or in the middle of the round, or the middle of the fight, or he needs to ask Ponzinibbio if he smelled the weed, or I just think he needs that chaos. I think he needs to fuck around and keep him loose, and to keep him having fun, and keep him carefree instead of focusing on too much and then getting too serious. I don't know. It's just crazy to see, and shouts out to him for him to get that knockout in the third round. And especially after Ponzinibbio was kind of bringing it to him and really beating the fuck out of those legs. Like, just all around impressive performance. It was out of nowhere. Shouts out to Kevin Holland. It's kind of sad he's not going to get the Jorge Masvidal fight. But like I said, for Masvidal, it doesn't make sense. But for Kevin Holland, it's like, yeah, bring it on, please. Especially after a whole Wonderboy Thompson. Like, we kind of got Kevin Holland, like, getting into that weird little space where, kind of like where Masvidal just was, where it's like, although Masvidal got the fight for a belt, Kevin Holland most likely might not ever get a chance unless his mouth gets him there. Not to be funny, that's why he's called Big Mouth. But if he pulls out like a Chael Sonnen type thing where it's, oh, Kevin Holland's talking all that shit just to get a title shot, then maybe he can do it. But I just highly doubt it. But he's got that big name and that excitement, so he's always gonna have fights. So I'm in for anything that they're ever gonna say, and it's sad for Santiago Ponzinibbio. Like, I was really hyping him up, and then, of course, it was definitely an unfortunate night out there, too, for the vets, for some reason, especially the ladies out there. Oh, my God, Cynthia Calvillo and fucking Michelle Waterson, Gomez, both of them ladies, I thought they did enough to win. I thought they were kicking some ass tonight, and then they get fucked on the judges. Joe Pyfer, that boy put GM3 out, Gerald Meerschaert out. That was impressive. And the one thing about Joe Pyfer I'm really worried about, though, not only is he an emotional wreck, and you can kind of tell he's like one of them big guys at a bar that, like, once a drink starts flowing, he's just over there crying in the corner because he gets super emotional. He starts thinking all that shit. But even though he's a big guy, he's really like I don't want to call him a pussy. I'm just saying that those guys in the bar, like, they crying in the corner. And yeah, they could probably fuck you up, but they're pussy, deep down emotionally. And that was the thing with Joe Pyfer. You can kind of tell. But the way that he came in looking like 20 pounds, like, heavier muscle-wise, but weighed the same, USADA's going to be on him, but that was a fucking incredible performance. Gerald Meerschaert again. Every time he gets knocked down, you think he's done, though. He comes back and he'll submit 3 guys in a row, and you're like, holy fucking shit, the dude's the man. And then, the one last fight I want to talk about, shouts out to him too, man. Shouts out to Kevin Gastelum getting his chance back, getting back into the limelight. I was pissed off because, I'm sitting here like, Raul Rosas Jr., amazing, 18-year-old, I get it. Like, he deserves the the hype, whatever, I get all that, but I just kind of had a feeling he was just getting way too cocky. I even put up a video this week, too. You guys go back and watch. I was like, look, I think I named it the Raul Rosas Jr. problem. And these pre-fight workout or interviews earlier this week, I was like, man, like, I get it, he's 18. I said a lot of stupid shit when I was 18. Like, people got to be patient with him, but he was getting really cocky, like, overconfident. And I was like, I think this is gonna hurt him. And then what do you know? Puts on a shit show tonight. No offense to him, he did come out looking kind of cool, just the amount of pressure. But from the jump, everybody knew, okay, this is gonna go bad if he doesn't get this finish. And it's exactly what he did. C-Rod's been getting talked about forever by guys like Anthony Pettis and all them guys like over at Rufus Sport. And you knew that this guy was gonna put it. Like, C-Rod's that man. Like, I even was talking about, like, dude's very patient, very, very, very educated in this game. He's been around a bunch of killers, has a great team, and then I was like, I thought he had enough. I really thought Raul Rosas Jr. had enough, but I just didn't think he deserved a main card performance yet, especially when we got a matchup like Chris Curtis and Kelvin Gastelum. And, to be fair, the only thing that was holding this fight back was the unknown of Kevin Gastelum. We don't know what we're gonna get ever since that whole Izzy fight and the whole Michael Bisping thing and everything. Like he's had this off weird thing where it's like he'll lose to a guy he should beat, he'll get hurt, pull out of a fight, win, lose. It's like we just don't know what's going on, and it's weird. And for him to finally get in there, and you knew Chris Curtis was gonna bring everything. I love Chris Curtis, great follow on YouTube or on Twitter as well, but. Just two dogs going at it, and they delivered. It still might be fight of the night, no cap. It had to be one of them for sure. So, it's sad with the whole Raul Rosas Jr. loss. You never want to see an 18-year-old, but it's like I was just worried, man. I'm like this whole Sage Northcutt kind of coming back, the whole Darren Till treatment. Like, I don't like when they push these guys too much because guess what? Even if you're giving them a decent, like his first guy against Jay Perrin, worth it. Definitely handpicked for him to win. This kind of definitely a big step up. Definitely a big step up in competition. But if he would have been patient and actually got it done, I think he could have got it done. And I was just worried though, because once you get them going, they get a couple main card wins, and you got the fans pushing them. Like this loss might have actually helped him a lot, but still, it's sad that it had to happen. But I'm happy it was a learning curve, and it was only a second fight in the UFC, and it's an opener of a main card, and it's not a title contention fight or something. So I'm happy all this happened to him at that rate. And shouts out to Kevin Gastelum, shouts out to Chris Curtis, shouts out to the whole card. She was absolutely fucking phenomenal. And I'll quit talking and let you guys go, and I'll do more this weekend. But, man, what a fucking fight card. What a month of fucking UFC and MMA. And excuse my language. I'm just geeked and I'm / tired because it's 1:40 in the morning. But still, we've been lucky this last month. UFC 285, UFC 286, UFC 287. I'm going to Max Holloway's fight next week, so I'm geeked. I'll be in Kansas City, Missouri if anybody's out there. So let's go, baby. As always, the 5th round, Stephen Moustaris. Let's go.